and would be doing a case study. So I haven't done one of these before, but I found it interesting, really in detailed post about a store that was able to spend $1 million and was able to get $4 million in return. So that's massive. That's like 4x rise, which is really, really good, especially in e-commerce. So I'm going to go through this case study and sort of break it down. So basically, it seems like it's a dog store that sold socks. So dog printing socks. So as you can see, they had a Facebook rep. That's how they were able to scale their ad account to 100k days. Okay. As you can see, they spent 1.25 million. You know, that's a lot. They've created many, many different ad accounts, having each spent 100k a day. Ensuring credit limit, so they made sure their credit card had a huge limit to be able to satisfy their daily spending limits. Also, they made sure their store, Shopify, wouldn't break if there was a lot of traffic. Okay, this is pretty interesting. Finding your 4x ROAS. So they launched 10 to 12 different organic posts, and they spent $50 to boost each one of them. Now they looked for the one that got the most combined likes, comments, and share, and that is the one that they'll use as the winning ad creative. So this saved a lot of time on testing, so they just determined which creative did best right off the bat. And they ran PPE first to generate the engagement, social proof. So this is an ad. Oh, very interesting. So this is like a print-on-demand sock with the dog's photo. So as you can see, 300k spent, and they were able to make back 1.2 mil. That's insane. So this is what they did. They target lookalike on all stages of their funnel, meaning, you know, engagement, likes, new content, all the way up to purchase. They also target interests, pet owners, fans, pet brands, etc. If someone's into the Kardashians, you sort of like reckon that interested on having their dog's face on their socks. So as you can see, they just went crazy. They tried testing everything. They tried to isolate every single little thing. Split by gender, split by age, split by interests. In total, they were able to push out 828 ad sets. So 50 plus lookalike audiences, but 200 plus were custom audiences. So that's pretty interesting. And 500 plus were variation of our lookalike audiences and custom audience as it's broken down by placement, bid type, etc. Okay, so how they were able to get so much is they split it not only by age, gender, but they also split by placement, bid type. There's 3-4 different placements on your newsfeed, Instagram, right-hand column, in video, messenger. There's a bunch of different placements, so they split it by everything. So that's really, really interesting. They didn't start with $5. They actually start with 3 times the average order value. They just killed it off quickly, deciding when to kill your ad sets. So they had a target add to cart cost and a target rise that they had to meet, and if it didn't meet that number, they would kill it. So this is how they scale. They made sure an ad set actually got 45 purchase, and once they did that, they would duplicate it at a higher budget instead of actually increasing the budget by a small 10 to 20% a day, because that would just take way too long. Duplicating seems like the way to go with today's Facebook algorithm. So they would actually duplicate it to 3 or 4 times the budget. So that's insane. Keeping that order bid strategy. Wow. If the duplicated ad sets that was already 3 or 4 times X was also doing well, they would duplicate it again 3 to 5 times running manual bid. So as you can see, they had 3 separate manual bidding. Each one had a different manual bidding. And as you can see, the lower the manual bid, the higher the ROAS, but you're spending much less. So they actually also implemented influence marketing, but what they did differently was they reached out to Facebook page, not Instagram pages. So they reached out to I Heart Dogs with 4 million likes, and this is I Heart Dog Creative. This was a basically influencer post. Interesting. Okay, so they actually boosted the post on this influencer page and retarget the page's likers. That's really interesting. And using that, they're able to generate another 130k. Now let's see the 3 key takeaways. Plan ahead. So you want to plan your funnel, so that makes sense. Start broad, narrow down. So I think that's what I usually do. I always start broad, and I start once it's a winner, then I sort of narrow down and find other different interest groups that I could find, and then I multiply with a bunch of lookalike audiences. And then they use additional pages and people to find other sources of income. So I think that's another thing people are neglecting. Using that winning product and reaching out influencer, that's a way to get free money because you know that you're going to get a return on that investment. What I basically learned from reading this was, as a social media marketing agency, when you plan to spend 1 mil and make back 4 mil in return, you got to plan things and make sure to scale fast and kill fast. That's another big important thing. They may look like audiences on everything. They made sure to use influencers. They made sure that where money was, they were in and on that platform.